Hello everyone, I'm Rob Smith, the Smith of the Wax, the Strat Time Report, and a whole bunch of nothing going on. But we got the Fed coming this afternoon. The reports keep coming back from Ukraine, back and forth, back and forth. So we got a whole bunch of nothing, and what we call this is conflict. And so as opposed to yesterday, when I said almost everything was taking a higher high on the day, now conflict. And what I mean by that is, well, we got this inside month. And the problem with that is oftentimes it gets worse, right? As people realize nothing's happening, we're going back and forth and back and forth. So conflict is in several ways. We're red on the month, albeit inside. We're green on the week. And we're a 2-2 reversal red on the day, which means we're doing nothing, all right? And so if you go to the 60 here, maybe you get some out of here because you got that inside bar pokes up, now going rev strat to the downside, right? So hopefully we can get them going here a little bit. Right now they're hitting them a little bit. So all right, we're waking up here a bit. Rev strat 1, 2, 2, right? To the downside. So for the next hour below here, we're looking to try and take these guys out and get it going here. So the hopes is you can get this daily reversal to kick in a little bit harder. But a whole lot of conflict out there, and that's why we're sticking kind of on the gappers and kind of letting them open here. So, like this last 5 minutes is the most action we've had all day. So there's that. But if you go to like GNRC and a gapper and gap and go, and there's a couple things I talk about, and there's the continuity entry where so it gaps, comes down, but then goes back green right here. You can do that. If you go down to a 15-minute, you'll see this, the inside 15, and boom, off she went, all right? You can take that. So there's that. There's WIX, and oftentimes I'll tell people to stay on the longer time frames, the 30s and 60s, just to, get your feet wet in the strat. And you can make a very good living doing nothing but that, because you can see here this 212 measured mover. See if we can get more of this thing out of this thing on WIX, the inside bar, and boom, down she goes on the 60. Other than that, we do have a little pop here in crude trying to fight back here with Pooty, still saber rattling, whatever the hell's going on over there. The problem here is a little conflict there too. OIH acting pretty well, now coming in just a tad. So we had that inside day, the poke down, boom, these two become an outside bar of that rev strat there, right? So that tells you Slob and Halliburton. Right, and Slob now would be rev strat to the upside if you can take this out. 42.24 in the next hour. But these things still coming in here. I don't know if we haven't got any news hit or something starting to come in just a tad. But you have the refiners selling off. So we prefer when you have all the energies going at the same direction. Well, you don't have that today because you got the refiners coming in. You do have some of those larger guys like EOG is a 2-2 reversal, 2 down, 2 up. And so this is in conflict with the market itself, right? Which is a 2 down. Let me see if Benzing has got anything here. And what are they talking about? What's bringing them in here? Anything? Not seeing anything, but certainly we are starting to come in here a bit. But conflict's something you want to know about and something you want to be avoiding if you can. If we go to AMD, there's another question I had yesterday was with the SMH yesterday, simultaneous break being strong. Right? It was like, do we hold overnight? I was like, no. In this environment, no. The longer these inside months are still holding on, the worse it gets. Back and forth, back and forth. Just an inside day for SMH right now, but you can see here on the 60, here's a reversal back down. It went hammer, shooter, boom. Now these guys are going to become an outside bar of all that if they keep selling off, because like AMD here, now potential rev strat. Inside day to the upside, now coming back down through. So if we can get this to hit, albeit inside month, if they start hitting these things, still watching this week. It's getting later in the week, but if you can take that out, that's a 2-2 reversal on the week, and that would get my attention because you'd have full time frame continuity to the downside. All right, they're still hitting these futures just a tad off the rev strat 60, and we're looking to take that out, and we just hit magnitude, right? And we are 2-2 reversal on the day. Okay, if we go to gold, GLD. Gold 2-2 reversal day coming up. In general, not doing a lot, but you are green on the month and taking out last week's highs. So you had your inside 60 to the upside. And Barrick Gold was acting real well here. GOLD here, now stalling out just a tad. And of course, we always like to watch the JNUG get, boy, because this thing can move out. You can see that here. 2-2 reversal on the 60 to start the day. 2-1-2 continuation off the 2 down, 2 up day J Nugger. If we go to UPST, upstart, nice earnings there. Now coming in, still here, still an inside month. It did take the inside week on the gap, but this would get more of my attention if it's really going to go to take this high out. 155.60. So you got some more acreage on that right now coming in. A little tough. Had a 15er here, and that was all she wrote. Then the 2-1-2-15 back down for the play in both sides. If we go to ALKS, we're going down the food chain here, but they're starting to hit them, which is making things a little bit more interesting right now on a Rev Strat 60. You'll also hear me say every 60 is like a new day to us, and that's what happened right as soon as I got on the headset. Anyway, ALKS having a nice little day here. That's a 2-2 reversal, Rev Strat weaker, taking out last month's highs. Just having a good day, a little bit grindy, but we'll see if we can find your way in there if need be. Going down the food chain, like I said, Court. And Court, my dad used to trade this stock a little bit, but inside month to the upside. So that gets my attention about that. Then, how about a nice 30 or a 60 here? Here is what you'd look for. The 2 up, the 2 down by taking out the lows, and boom, right there. So we'll see if that sets up again for us. If we go to WAB, like I said, we're going down the food chain here. Which makes it a little tough, right? It's still an inside month. Did take outside week, so it hit magnitude. 2-2 continuation on the day. Now coming in, but just had a nice long green bar, and that's what we look for. On the downside, oh boy, how'd you like to come into work to Facebook today to have Zuck tell you got to call yourself a metamate? Yeah, no. Still puking. It is green on the day, though, but still all sorts of trouble over there. Anyhow, if you go to Morgan Stanley, and Morgan Stanley, a little more interesting because you went into the highs, right, and then you're coming back into the range. That's a problem because you turned red back on the month. Then you have an inside day to the downside, right? Then you got a reversal on the weekly, 2 up, 2 down shooter. That's a problem. Now you got the Fed coming out. That's always going to have some effects on financials and stuff. That tells us maybe take a look at how's Goldman Sachs doing. Still an inside month, but here, you see this 2 up, 2 down on the day, and what that does, it hits this, the 2 up, 2 down shooter on the week. So we'll see what comes of those guys. If we go to IBM. And IBM inside week to the downside, and then the inside day to the downside. IBM having some problems going to the lows as I speak, and if that gets weak enough, then you can go back here and take this out that month. You got some distance on that, but that would be some extra puking over there. If you go to Netflix, Netflix still having some problems, a little conflict on the week, not doing much on the week, still an inside month, but red. Right, but one of the things you can look for there is that inside day down. See if you can get some more expando. It's been sitting here doing nothing, but let's see if we can get a little bit more heat on this thing and take her down to the lows. If we go to Akamai, and Akamai here, inside month to the downside on this gap, so that gets my attention. Right, a little quick on this dumper here, but see if there's any 15er and see if they set up again for us. There it was, inside 15. 2 down, boom, see ya, and another one here. We'll see if that sets up again for us. If we go to, oh boy, aren't you happy you're not in an investment club that got wiped by this and then was told not to sell here? I am. Inside day down, PayPal still puking. If we go to Massimo. And Massimo going to get stuck in the mother bar here, but having a rough day off the gapper. 60 goes down would be a rev strat back. So when you get in the middle of a big bar like this is called a mother bar because it's the bar before an inside bar. And so when you break, you want to get out of there like WIX did, right? It did right there. The inside bar breaks and gets out of there, but Massimo doesn't. And what that means is you can have price discovery start over again and chop in here. So you'd want to be careful about that. If we go to shop, Shoppy on a gap down puker, and what that does is reconfirms this inside week to the downside. It's also taking out last month's lows, right? So here on the 60 doesn't really go, but tries to go 2 down, 2 up, and 2 back down. So for the next hour, if we can get signals below this, 78.20, right, where you're there now, then we're going to see if we can take these guys out. All right, Shoppy in a little bit of trouble, and that's telling us maybe we go look over W inside week to the downside here too, and that's close to taking out last month's lows. It's still an inside month, but it's getting there, and it's thinking about it. So you can keep an eye on this thing. Got any nice 15ers in there? How about a nice 30? A little tricky on that one, but we'll see. If we go to SQSP, like I said, we're going down the food chain today until the Fed comes out. And one of the things we like about things is coming back through previous ranges. Right, so you had your 2 up, 2-2 reversal, boom, back to the previous range, and you can see how fast that was. Right, it's also red on all time frames. So what's that telling me? That tells me by month, week, day, and 60, the sellers are aggressive enough to be hitting the bid. Right, they are. That has to be occurring. When you come back to a previous range, where people stop at, either where they got in or obvious pivots, here, 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 here. And as these guys get stopped out, they remove liquidity. So the guys trying to hit the bid don't have any bid to hit. And that's when you see something like this, right? That's why you want to come back to a previous range. If we go to MRTX, and just kind of sitting here for now, but has my attention for this reason here. They got them good yesterday. It's kicking pattern, right? 80% green, gap down, boom, right? So right now, just stuck in the mother bar 60s, but I would keep an eye on that going forward. But for the most part, I would be holding off until the Fed, because if you look at the SPA, you're going to see this. What's the niz? So it hits magnitude, right? When it goes rev strat, 1, 2 up, going to stop out these guys, and these guys. But you're in conflict, so there's buyers around, right? And so now what you have is the lower low and the higher high. So on your 60, here's your micro broadening formation, like so. This will get bigger over time. You just got to wait for that to happen, right? If you go to the 5-minute, you'll see this. Excuse me. Ta-da! Right to the line. So there's your 5-minute broadening formation. And once again, what just happened? You came back through a previous range. You just stopped anybody out in here. That's all it did. That's all it did. It wasn't real selling. Then you go inside on the 5. Now you're a 2-1-2 back up on the 5-minute, going back into this broadening formation, which is tight, right? Doing nothing. So broadening formations will get bigger, thus the name. You just got to wait for them. And that's why we say triangles need to grow. But we got the Fed coming out, and for the most part, a lot of conflict out there, so I'd hold off on a lot of things until these guys come and talking. All right, that's going to do it for today. I'm Rob Smith, Smith in the Black, Strat Time Report.